I stepped away from everything in my life when I was 38 years old, midlife crisis, whatever, and I walked into a new world of so much. To understand the type of content I have out in these books, that I've written in these books about my life, I have a YouTube video out already that's I read part of the introduction to 2018, My Last Hope, and it's intense, it's scary, and it's awful. And I'm just putting that out there to let anyone know, if you do read these books, they are very graphic, extreme, and I don't hold back. It's what my life was. And for anybody that happens to be involved in these situations in these books, they're written in a way where the other people involved, which are many, many other people in my life from 2018 on, they remain anonymous. Small details change, names change, that kind of thing, because I'm not trying to put anybody else's business out there. If someone reads these books and they recognize that it's them involved in some of these stories with me, they'll at least be able to see that nobody else but them will recognize that it's them. And that's how the remaining books will be written as well. I'm not trying to air anyone else's business, but I'm airing my own business, all of my own business. I'm doing this because not only does it help me, I want it to help other people in whatever way is possible. So I'll sacrifice myself, my anonymity, my private and personal stuff for the fact that this could help people. People with mental issues, depression, anxiety, people with substance abuse issues, people with not understanding or not seeming to get what life really is. And I am in all those categories. And helping others, I think, will help me as well. And I think that's the goal. Back in 2018, I basically disappeared. I left a career of 20 years. I left the house I lived in for 6 in the city I grew up in. And call it a midlife crisis, call it anything, I guess. A mental break. I originally was just going to be traveling for summer of 2018, and once I got into the groove of that, it lasted 5 years. And a lot of crazy stuff happened during that time. A lot of bad things, a lot of good things. A lot of things I never could have imagined. I disappeared from everybody. I disappeared from the life I knew, everything I knew up to that point, and I found new worlds that were extreme, to say the least. But I got through those 5 years, sometimes barely. But I currently have 2 books I've written. This is 2018, My Last Hope. This is 2019, My Last Hope. And they're each one documenting 1 year during that time. And I'm working on the 3rd right now. Obviously 2020, My Last Hope. But they are available on Amazon and Kindle. And I think the 3rd will be published spring or a little bit before of 2024, if all goes right. Then I've got 2 more to write after that. But I finally found what I was meant to do. That is what I was meant to do. I'm glad I made it through what I made it through. And I had made a deal with myself in 2018 that I was going to write a book before I chose another less favorable option, and it turned into needing to write 5 books because each year was so much it needed a book of its own. I have found myself, I believe now, in what I'm meant to do, and hopefully these books can help other people. I just know that life is so unpredictable and so full of magic and full of amazing things, whether it be good, bad, anywhere in between. All of it is just something beyond anything I cared to think before. I spent all those years trying to numb myself with substances and trying to avoid facing my emotions, facing life, trying to opt out, trying to disappear basically. And I never really truly lived until 2018 on. And I look at things differently now. I originally decided to dedicate myself to traveling, new experiences, and seeing if I could find what I was meant for. And I found what I was meant for. And I'm working daily, every day, to try to be a better person, try to be better who I am, and try to be someone who fulfills their purpose here in the short time we have here. Life is, if you don't go all in, what's the point? Through writing, I've discovered who I am. I've discovered that I'll never finish trying to discover more of me. I've found the purpose of everything, in a way, is more being one with everything and everyone, and getting through this together with the world, with the people, with everything. And it's hard to explain in words, but I know that something bigger out there. A lot of times it's downright hard, and those are the times when you make it through and you learn something and you can be better from it, that at least gives it all the bad situations, all the things you find negative, terrible, whatever. When you pull through, you're better for it, you're wiser for it, you're more of you than you were before. If you can look at any situation as a learning experience, then every situation can have a positive. And no matter what, if you go on better for it. I've always enjoyed writing. I've always enjoyed creating art. I don't have musical talent. I love music, but I don't have any talent. But writing, I do have the talent. And I neglected it for many, many years due to the fact that I was preoccupied with negating emotions and substance abuse and hedonism in all aspects. And these books document that. They are my life. They are a year in my life. 2018, my last hope, is that year. And all the things I've done in that time, all the negatives, all the positives, I put myself out there. I expose myself for everything because maybe it'll help somebody, and it already has helped me. 2019, my last hope, and another year of my life. It's another documentation of the crazy world I stepped into after I stepped away from everything I knew. After I left behind familiarity and comfort and stepped out into a world that I didn't know how to navigate at the time, I didn't know what would take me down what path and what would take me down another. I didn't know all of it. I finally felt alive for the first time in my life by stepping out into worlds I didn't know. So both these books, as I said, available on Amazon and through Kindle, but the next one will be coming out soon, and I've got a while until the other two are even started, let alone finished, but they're everything. They're everything to me. The process has shown me so much about myself, and all my missteps, all my not knowing and taking the wrong path, all my things that I guess if I was worried about being judged, I would be looked down on, but it is what it is. It's what happened in my life. It's what I chose to do, what I did, what happened to me, and it led me to where I'm at. And it led me through some dark, dark places. It led me through some scary places. It also led me through some very good places and great experiences. Everywhere in the country, I have been most places now. There's just a couple I haven't, just 2 states I haven't been to, Oregon and Alaska, and I'll get there someday. But all the other states have memories for me now. They all have experiences which I made it through. There were times where I thought I wouldn't. There are a few times, quite a few, that I was not thinking I would see the other side of, but I pulled through and I learned from them and I became better for it. I stepped away from everything in my life when I was 38 years old, midlife crisis, whatever, and I walked into a new world of so much. I've led a crazy life and I'm better for it. And I've done my wrongs, my missteps, my negative actions. I've never done anything, though, that intentionally hurt somebody else. But I've done many things that have hurt me, and many times I didn't care. And I'm just happy that it got me where I'm at. I'm happy I learned from what I did. Happy I learned from what happened to me, where I've been, who I've seen, who I've known. I feel bad in ways that, like, I didn't handle things the way I should have in many situations, but that's what learning is. Where I was at the time, I did what I could. And I did what I had to do. And now I'm here advertising these books because maybe someone else needs to read this and maybe they can be helped by it. These aren't books for kids. These aren't books for people who get offended. These aren't books for anything like that. These are books that are raw and they are what my life was. Not holding back on them. I'm putting myself out there. People want to judge me. People can judge me. That's fine too. I am me. I did what I did. And I became who I am because of what I did and all that happened to me. And I don't know what else to say about it other than if anyone's been wondering what happened to me, where'd I go, it's where I went.